What if I told you that somewhere beneath the busy streets of Jerusalem lies a doorway that ancient people believed connected Earth directly to heaven? And what if archaeologists think they might actually know where it is? For thousands of years, people have called the Temple Mount a gateway to the divine. Right now, researchers and biblical experts are piecing together ancient clues that could lead us to one of the most sacred spots in all of human history, a place called the Holy of Holies. This wasn't just any room. This was where the famous Ark of the Covenant was kept. This was the spot where ancient people believed God himself lived on earth. But after centuries of wars, destruction, and rebuilding, this sacred chamber vanished from history. Before we dive into this mystery, hit that subscribe button if you love discovering hidden biblical stories. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest discoveries. So what exactly was this Holy of Holies? Thousands of years ago, the Jewish people built a massive temple in Jerusalem. Deep inside this temple was the most sacred room imaginable, completely cut off from everything else by a thick, heavy curtain. We're talking about a room so sacred that only one person in the entire world was allowed to enter it, the high priest. And he could only go in once per year, on the holiest day of their calendar, after days of intense purification rituals. Now, what was inside this mysterious room? The Holy of Holies housed the most famous religious artifact in history, the Ark of the Covenant. Think of it like the ultimate treasure chest. Inside this golden box were the original stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, Aaron's staff that miraculously grew flowers, and a jar of manna that kept the Israelites alive in the desert. But here's the most incredible part. Ancient texts tell us that God's actual presence lived right above this ark, between two golden angel statues called cherubim. The creator of the universe choosing to dwell in one specific spot on earth. Then disaster struck twice. First, the Babylonians destroyed Solomon's temple in 586 BC. Then the Romans wiped out the Second Temple in 70 AD. Just like that, this sacred room vanished from history. Nobody knows what happened to the Ark or exactly where the Holy of Holies was located. Here's where it gets fascinating for us today. That ancient temple stood on Mount Moriah, the exact same place where Abraham almost sacrificed Isaac thousands of years earlier. But here's the problem. That spot is now covered by the Dome of the Rock, one of Islam's holiest sites. We're talking about the most religiously sensitive real estate on the planet. For years, scholars have been like detectives, trying to figure out the exact location of that sacred room. Some think it's right under the Golden Dome. Others believe it might be slightly north or south. But what if there's still a physical entrance to this holy place, buried under centuries of rubble? Israeli archaeologists haven't given up. For decades, they've been exploring tunnels and underground chambers beneath the Western Wall, searching for traces of the original temple. These sophisticated tunnel systems run along the Western Wall, with some passages believed to be actual remains from King Herod's temple expansion. One fascinating researcher is Leon Rittmeyer, a Christian archaeologist who worked as an architect on Temple Mount excavations. He's identified a specific flat rock underneath the Dome of the Rock called the foundation stone. Here's the incredible part. He believes this rock is where the Ark of the Covenant actually sat, because there's a rectangular indent carved into this stone that matches the exact biblical dimensions of the Ark. If he's right, we're talking about the actual stone floor where the most sacred object in history once rested. Now, in the original temple design, there wasn't some massive stone gate like in the movies. You had to walk through the main temple building to reach the inner sanctuary. But the entrance was blocked by a curtain so massive it's almost unbelievable, 60 feet high and several inches thick. We know this because historian Josephus saw the temple before the Romans destroyed it and wrote it all down. Behind that enormous curtain was likely a raised platform with steps leading into the most sacred room on earth. Some archaeologists believe the foundation stones for this inner sanctuary might still be buried under the Temple Mount. But here's the problem. Nobody's allowed to dig there. The area is completely off-limits due to political and religious sensitivity. That hasn't stopped some people from trying. In 1981, Rabbi Yehuda gets started unauthorized digging beneath the Temple Mount and discovered sealed passages hidden for centuries. These underground passages could actually lead toward the original sanctuary, maybe even to the Holy of Holies itself. But his discovery caused massive conflict with Islamic authorities, and those passages were immediately sealed back up. For many people, this search isn't just about history, it's about prophecy. Ancient biblical texts talk about a future temple and specific end-times events. This has created urgency among certain Jewish groups like the Temple Institute, who've spent years recreating all the vessels and garments needed for temple worship, literally preparing for a third temple. But if researchers ever confirm the exact location of the Holy of Holies, building there would be like lighting a fuse on the world's most dangerous powder keg, affecting both Jewish and Muslim holy sites. Even though direct digging is forbidden, we know fascinating things about what's underneath. Historical records hint at complex underground chambers and caves beneath the Golden Dome. One mysterious spot is the Well of Souls, an ancient chamber right underneath the foundation stone that both Islamic writings and Crusader accounts describe as a natural cave used for religious ceremonies. Nobody knows if this cave connected to the Holy of Holies, but it's in the perfect central location with an almost supernatural feel that early visitors couldn't stop writing about. Here's where the story takes an incredible twist. In 1999, Islamic authorities did unauthorized renovations and accidentally created one of the most important archaeological discoveries in modern history, by throwing it in the trash. Truckloads of ancient dirt filled with priceless artifacts from the actual temple periods got dumped like garbage outside Jerusalem. When archaeologists discovered this, they said, "If we can't dig under the Temple Mount, we'll sift through every grain of dirt they threw away." The Temple Mount sifting project has been working like detectives, carefully going through that discarded dirt. They found thousands of ancient coins, jewelry, and pottery fragments that prove Jewish temples really existed on that mount. While they haven't found the actual doorway to the Holy of Holies, what they've discovered strengthens everything the ancient texts told us. Here's what's exciting. We now have ground-penetrating radar that can see through solid rock and detect hidden chambers without disturbing anything above ground. Combined with recovered artifacts, we might eventually piece together what's really down there. But there's still that massive roadblock: access. Until the political situation changes, which might not happen for generations, we're left with the clues we have. So here's where we stand. Archaeological evidence, biblical descriptions, and historical records all point to the same conclusion. The most sacred room in human history lies somewhere directly beneath that Golden Dome. Ancient prophecies talk about a time when all nations will come to this mountain, when what's hidden will be revealed. What lies beneath the Temple Mount has the potential to change how we understand both ancient history and our modern world. Maybe the timing just isn't right yet. But when it is, the discovery could absolutely shake the world. What do you think lies beneath the Temple Mount? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you found it fascinating. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of our ancient past.